morning, my friends. We're here today at Morning Coffee for the Soul, and we are talking about money. Today's subject is money, only because it's something, of course, that we all have to live in this society. We all, in a way, have a responsibility for others, and yet money is such a taboo subject. Money is such a subject that, especially in spiritist centers and churches, people kind of dread talking about. But then even in our own lives, people that seek spirituality and they seek peace and they seek to have this tranquility in their lives, they also always kind of want to abort this topic. They always want to talk about money because there is such a conflict, an appearance of a conflict, that money is the opposite of tranquility, of peace, of spiritual enlightenment. And in reality, this gets attributed to a phrase that Paul, the Apostle Paul, said. And Paul had said, the love of money is the root of all types of evil. And people always forget the word love in that sentence. So people attribute what Paul has said as money is the root of all evil, which it isn't. It's the love, the excess, the adoration, the putting money or putting this confidence that money gives you. And in other words, the pride and selfishness that comes with the excesses. That is really the root of all evil. And we know here in the Spirit's book, one of the things that Kardec mostly talked about is pride. Now, it's interesting because pride does not necessarily mean rich. The rich doesn't necessarily are boastful or proud or selfish. There are many of those who have very little and can be very proud, very selfish, very even boastful of the little they have. So it's very interesting for us to put this concept that money is an evil thing, and to put a concept that those who have it are selfish. There has never been a society where there is pure equality. There has never been a society where everyone works the same amount, or that everybody gets the same things. And so it should be that people have certain merits for what they do. We know of many, many psychological experiences and communism and all types of things, and they don't work. We have experiments on children's grades in school when a professor decides to give everybody an A, and those who do work and they deserve the A and they really study, they stop actually doing all this. And those who didn't do it before, they don't do anything to even say, well, I'm going to try better. And instead of everybody going to get A's, the entire grades of the classes, the real grades they would have gotten, actually fall. So we have to, first of all, when we talk about money, understand that if you are to be someone who is progressing, either in your material possessions or your spirituality, there is a process for this. And so those who have less are in a position, and this we see in Kardec, the codification, we see that we are beings that have lived many lives and who will live many lives. And we are here at different times through different processes. So if I have much now, I may have not have had much before, or I will have to most likely go through a life of not having much. So it's really about how you administer what you have. And when you have very little, or when you're part of the have-nots, most of the time you're here to be tested on humility, be tested on your moral conduct. Are you going to do what is wrong to acquire, or are you going to try harder, or come to a resignation, to a renunciation of really accepting and understanding that you will have this prime material, whatever little you have, but that is what you have to use in this lifetime. And those who have a lot have this responsibility that even the spirits will say, look, you who are fortunate in a way to have much, it's much harder of a test. It's much harder to have lots, because the temptations to things that will make you fall on a moral level are higher. So this is what I wanted to get out first from the Kardec, from the codification, for those who have very little, to not believe or not envy those who have much, and those who have much to not believe that in a way they deserve this, and so they can act irresponsibly. And we see that the test of the riches is a much harder test to pass here on earth. So having said that, we're coming to bring this to our own lives. We all want to have peace and tranquility. And how much is money a part of something that can help you have and achieve tranquility, to have you, and last week we talked about Maslow hierarchy of needs and motivation, and we know that we all need stability. We all need to feel safe in our jobs, to feel safe that we'll provide for our family. And so money can be a very good thing. It is something that we always ask for a raise at our jobs. We always look for ways to really save, so we can acquire something else. Now, materialism is a very different thing than striving to have a good life, a comfortable life. Materialism is really everything that goes against the belief of God. Everything that is a materialist will justify the means. They will believe that the means justify the end. So no matter what they want to get, they can most likely say, well, this is because I deserve, or this is to help this person, but they will never put the moral part above the material part. And materialism is really what makes anything else so difficult to explain, because a materialist person does not believe that there is so much more than what you can touch, what you can see, what you can smell, your senses. And so money becomes such a big part of it. Now, we know the Apostle Paul said that the root of all evil is money, yet you can do so much with it. It's really the responsibility that you put there. Now, we know that in Matthew's also said that it is impossible to serve two gods, Mammon and God. Let's say it that way. So what he meant that it's impossible for you to follow a life that will spiritually, you will be spiritually involved at the same time that you seek so strongly the material part in life. So can we balance